Did you know the average car owner spends over $1,000 every year just on suspension repairs? That's because most people don't realize how fast their suspension wears out until it's too late. Your suspension is the backbone of your car's ride quality and handling. One bad pothole, one ignored noise, or one missed maintenance step, and bam, you're stuck with a bumpy ride and a huge repair bill. But what if I told you you could make your suspension last a lifetime? In this video, I'm going to uncover 10 proven ways to keep your car's suspension running like new for years. And trust me, tip number 7 could save you thousands. So buckle up, because by the end of this video, your car will ride like a dream. Tip number 1, check and maintain your shock absorbers. Your car's suspension works harder than you think. Every time you hit a pothole, take a sharp turn, or slam on the brakes, it absorbs all that impact so you don't feel it. Shocks and struts are the backbone of your suspension. If they go bad, your car bounces like a trampoline after every bump. To check them, press down hard on the hood or trunk and let go. If your car bounces more than twice, your shocks might be shot. Worn-out shocks reduce braking efficiency, wear out your tires faster, and make handling dangerous. Want to make them last longer? Avoid overloading your car, drive carefully over bumps, and check them every 20,000 miles. Tip number 2, don't ignore strange noises. Your car talks to you. It just doesn't speak English. If you hear clunks, creaks, or groans, your suspension is trying to warn you about a problem getting worse. A small worn-out bushing today could turn into a broken control arm tomorrow. The key is to find the noise early. Turn off your radio, drive over a bumpy road, and listen carefully. If you hear knocking when turning, check your ball joints. A squeaky ride? Your bushings need lubrication. Don't wait for a catastrophic failure. Fix small issues before they destroy your whole suspension. Tip number 3, avoid hitting potholes and curbs. Potholes are silent suspension killers. When you hit one at high speed, your shocks, struts, and even your entire wheel alignment can get wrecked instantly. And here's the worst part. Damage from one bad pothole can cost you over $1,000 in repairs. The solution? Stay alert and dodge potholes whenever possible. If you can't avoid one, slow down before hitting it. Never brake while going over it. Braking locks up the suspension, making the impact even worse. Tip number 4, keep your tires properly inflated and balanced. Did you know uneven tires can wear out your suspension twice as fast? When one tire wears out faster than the others, it throws off the balance of your whole car. This puts extra stress on your shocks, struts, and ball joints, making them wear out faster. To prevent this, rotate your tires every 5,000 miles and get them balanced once a year. Also, avoid driving on poorly inflated tires. If your tires are underinflated, your suspension has to work twice as hard to absorb road impacts. While overinflated tires, on the other hand, transfer every single bump straight to your shocks and struts. Always check your owner's manual and make sure you're running the correct PSI at all times. Tip number 5, keep your suspension components lubricated. Your suspension has lots of moving parts, and friction is the enemy. Parts like ball joints, tie rod ends, and control arm bushings need lubrication to move smoothly. If they dry out, they grind against each other, causing excessive wear and expensive repairs. Want to prevent that? Grease your suspension joints every oil change, especially if you drive on dusty or wet roads. Many modern cars have sealed joints, but if yours have grease fittings, don't ignore them. A few dollars in grease can save you hundreds in repairs. Tip number 6, get your wheels aligned regularly. Ever notice your car pulling to one side or your steering wheel sitting at an angle while driving straight? That's a sign your alignment is off, and it's silently destroying your suspension. When your wheels aren't properly aligned, your tires wear unevenly, causing added stress on your shocks, struts, and steering components. To prevent this, get a professional alignment check every 6 to 12 months, especially after hitting a big pothole or curb. A proper alignment ensures that your suspension is working efficiently instead of fighting against itself. Tip number 7, avoid overloading your vehicle. Did you know that excessive weight puts a massive strain on your suspension? Your shocks and springs are designed to handle a specific weight, and overloading your vehicle compresses them beyond their limits. This leads to premature wear, poor handling, and even total suspension failure. Always check your vehicle's weight rating and avoid exceeding it. Keep your trunk as light as possible and only carry what you actually need. Tip number 8, replace worn-out suspension parts on time. Suspension components don't last forever, but replacing them on time can prevent a domino effect of damage. If your shocks and struts are worn out, they force other components like ball joints and control arms to take on extra stress. Ignoring them can lead to expensive repairs that could have been avoided. Signs that your suspension parts need replacement include excessive bouncing, a rough ride, knocking noises, or uneven tire wear. If you notice any of these, don't wait. Get your suspension checked and replace any failing parts before they take the rest of your system down with them. Tip number 9, drive smoothly and avoid sudden braking. Your driving habits directly affect your suspension's lifespan. Hard braking forces your suspension to compress suddenly, while aggressive turns put extra stress on your suspension joints. Over time, this repeated strain wears out your shocks, struts, and control arms. Instead of slamming the brakes or flooring the gas pedal, practice smooth driving habits. Gradual acceleration and gentle braking reduce suspension stress and also improve fuel efficiency. Your suspension will thank you with a smoother ride and longer lifespan. Tip number 10, use high-quality suspension parts. When it's time to replace suspension components, don't go for the cheapest option. Cheap parts cost you more in the long run. Low-quality shocks, struts, and bushings wear out much faster, leading to a rougher ride and frequent repairs. Always go for OEM or high-performance parts from trusted brands. These parts are designed to withstand harsh road conditions and last significantly longer than budget alternatives. Think about it. Would you rather spend $150 now on good shocks or $500 later replacing them twice? Remember, saving money on cheap suspension parts now means spending more on replacements and repairs later. And there you have it, friends. The suspension plays a vital role to ensure a comfortable riding. If you follow these tips, your shocks, struts, and other suspension components will last longer, saving you thousands in repairs. If this video helped you, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more car maintenance secrets. Also, drop a comment below. What's the worst road you've ever driven on? Thanks for watching and drive safe.